Whoa. It's that time. Different time zones, oh boy. I know. Hey, Instagram. It's me, T, from the Pattersons, taking the trenches to bed. Well, it's Friday. It's like, should we go this once again, right? Let's say it this way. On Saturdays is whatever happens in my head, right? On Sundays is it's a reading day. I read and then I riff off the reading. On Mondays is me day. I talk about me. On Tuesdays it's U.S. Day stuff. On Wednesdays is World Day stuff. On Thursdays it's audio drama. We had a good one yesterday. Talked about one of the greatest. We talked about a play that I did a long time ago. Audio drama. It's a very long audio drama. It's a classic audio drama, if you will. The Outsider, Richard Wright's piece. Anyway. And today is Friday, which means it's stuff that went on that not that I missed, but I need to riff on a little bit more, blah blah, all that stuff. Right? Okay. I want to talk. I had a scare. Let's call it a scare. A little panic, because my commander-in-chief. There's a new commander-in-chief for the United States of North America, and that would be the Donald. He's the new commander-in-chief. He commands a bunch of armies. A bunch of an army, but with a bunch of you get all kinds of Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines, Coast Guard. Most of them have all special forces in them, and stuff like that. And then, and so a lot of the stuff that the United States does is backed up by their military. That's what's interesting, because what's happening now with the with all this stuff with the economics, and economics in the United States has always been backed up by the military. Anyway, they learned that from the colonizer, that's like that. But there's a new sheriff in town. Captain Ibrahim, he's from Burkina Faso, land of the upright people, and he is, for all intents and purposes, my commander-in-chief. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm a veteran, so in a weird sort of almost way, the Donald is my commander-in-chief, but I don't have to listen to him, kind of thing. I don't have to. If I was, even though I did take it, this is complicated. Look, I took 2 oaths in my life. An oath is something different than the vows and stuff. The 2 oaths I took happened to be like basically a month apart. One when I joined the Air Force, I took an oath to protect the country and provide all this, to the enemies, domestic and foreign. Which is, if you look at it, a lot of people in the military, a lot of veterans, they don't understand what that means. They said both domestic and foreign, all enemies. If you go against the Constitution, against whatever, so whoever's going against that, you see what I'm saying? And then about a month later, because I became a medic, I had to take what's called a Hippocratic oath. Some people say for medicine. In other words, not only am I not supposed to do any harm, but I'm supposed to save people's lives. Of course, the United States, they violated the United States, the medical people in the United States that do the bidding of the army and stuff like that, they violated that up and down, and all kinds of programs to prove that. So that those oaths that I still take, I actually believe in them. A lot of people, a lot of my, I can't say comrades, because that would be, a lot of people who also took those oaths, they weren't serious about it, right? But I've taken a personal oath to Africa. Now, Africa should have one army. I remember before, it was a long time, people, every time you say Africa, you say, you make it like a country, and everybody up people, no, Africa is a continent. Hey, why are you arguing about that? Let's make it one concept. Africa is one concept. 54, 55 states, whatever, however many they got these days, because it always changes, right? We're one concept. And I happen to be an American. See that passport back there? I happen to be an American African. I carry an American passport, right? But I have an African mentality. Now, here's the fun. Should I go to that? Yeah. I did, when I started traveling a long time ago, when I was in WBAI, when you do something for a long, when you do something, when you come back, you usually do a program on it, right? So I had taken this trip, and I was there for about 4 months. That was a trip that I took to basically, what do you want to say, Central America, to Guatemala, and on through Belize. I did this extensive report, audio documentary on Belize and the Quechua people, or the Garifuna, how we want to pronounce it. And as I came back, as I was putting the audio together, of course I do some research and stuff like that. And I found out that at that particular point, it was like 85% of American citizens had no passport, which means that 85% did not travel any place. What I hear is it's still around 80% of Americans don't go. I say don't go with a passport. Some places now you can go. Even then, you can go to Mexico with a driver's license, or whatever. You can go to the Caribbean, you can go to Canada, like that. But if you want to go to other places, you need a passport. Now the problem, if your circle of people, like for instance, my circle happens to be a lot of some political people, people who are in the arts, and so because they have to go other places, like if you go to say for instance Italy, you want to go to art museums or something like that. Well, you got to have a passport. But not a lot of people do that. You see? So, anyway. So if you don't travel, then you really don't know. You don't feel, And plus now people ain't got no money to travel. So they have no inclination to travel. I happen to have traveled without money most of my life. Okay. So when things happen in the Sahel region of Africa, it's the north up there northeast, by where you remember when Jimi Hendrix went to Morocco? You go to a place that now went to Morocco. He famously went to Morocco and left himself. Anyway, up in that area, right? And when they did their thing, when Mali, who that's my man there, my man there, I like him. Niger and Burkina Faso overthrew their things militarily and took over because they have the right, they're wrong, and of course the people are saying, oh no, but they're not democratically elected. Well, that concept, that democratically elected concept, comes from where? I'm just asking, So anyway, so when Captain Ibrahim said, who I call, from the beginning I call him Commander Ibrahim. When Commander Ibrahim took over, I said, I recognized him right at the beginning, at the embryonic stage. I said, this is interesting. And I even had a scare back then because when the stuff was going on in the Middle East, I guess it's sort of coming to a head now, or coming to a middle now, or coming to an end now. With Gaza and stuff like that, and they had all these U.S. battleships in the Mediterranean. I was sort of kind of nervous because Burkina Faso and them, they just had overthrown their thing. They were deep into it, and I thought that the guns would turn around and say, hey, stop it, or we're gonna boom you. And luckily that didn't happen at that particular while. And the United States got embroiled in Ukraine, and everything went to everything went to heck. So they would sort of dodge that big shell. And then they had enough time to do what they need to do, to govern, to kick France out, because France always, look, all those guys, they're actually little countries. If you look at so-called Great Britain, small country. If you look at Portugal, small, all of those small NAT, G-N-A-T, countries get together, and they for some reason, they took over the big countries. Let's say, and I'm gonna say, one country that took over Africa. There's this famous thing. I'm gonna tell you. I've now found this from traveling. So I'm up here. I was over in Senegal. Actually in the Gambia. And I said, well, what is everybody around here? The Gambia speaks English, but Senegal speaks French, and Mali speaks French, and what's that about? And somebody wisely told me, maybe I found it out myself. Well, back in the day, those NAT countries that do their thing, they said, hey, the English said, we need a port on the west side of Africa. And the French said, we need a port on the east side of Africa. So all they did was say, okay, we're going to give you this landmass here that's called, hey, third world, we'll give you third world. Listen to this one, third world. So what happened is the English got the Gambia from the French, and the French got Djibouti from the English, so they would have a port on the east side of Africa, the one country Africa, and you see, so that's how cooperative they can be when they have one whatever. So that's why that happens. So you understand what I'm saying? So I'm going like, oh, okay, but now obviously the puppets, the Afropeans. I think who coined it? I think Leonard Jeffries coined that term, the Afropeans. Now that's an African with a European mind. Just like in the States we have Negropeans. That's a Negro with a European mind. Yeah. I prefer to say Negropeans. It sounds a lot more polite than all those other terms that people use, right? But I don't use it much because you're not supposed to call people. You're not supposed to call people out. You're not supposed to call them names. You know, that's according to Mr. Neely Fuller Jr., who I'm an acolyte of. Okay, so everything's going swimmingly well. You know, can I call him Commander Ibrahim? I'll call him Commander Ibrahim. So our Commander-in-Chief, Commander Ibrahim, he starts make some moves. You know, along with the Niger guy, along with Colonel Ogota from Mali. That's my guy. I like him, the guy with the beard. They started doing some stuff. You know, they kicked the French out. Then they started taking over, doing what should have been done. I want to say decades ago, which is, you know, take back the gold, take back the minerals that was taken, right? And so because now they can back up their stuff because they're together, and of course the colonizer never quits. Colonizer like all belong to the Werner Erhard school of stuff, which is like, hey, no matter what, you keep on going. You know, if they say you just ignore it and you keep on going. Anyway, so now all kinds of because of the advent of the hey Lace, how you doing, Lace? So now you have a situation where basically because it was the perfect time, perfect storm, because you had the BRICS countries started to come together, and then they on an economic or a trade basis. Let's put it that way. Not trying to overthrow anybody. It's not like France and whatever and England back in the day where they did military to take you and everything's a land grab for stuff that's under. No, they didn't do that. And of course, the U.S. is just an open country for if you're lawless and you get it, you can get into the U.S. and then you know you can use the resources of the U.S. and laws because the U.S. is a country of laws, as they like to say, with a bunch of lawyers. Anyway, you could switch everything up and you can run things. I.e., I won't mention you know all the players right now. But here's the thing that was shocking to me that I had a scare this week. Even Traore, Commander Ibrahim, he made an announcement. He says, okay, well, he tried to quit. Not quit. He tried to step down, said we're going to do that. And the citizens said, hey, whoa. You ain't going no place right now. You're doing some stuff. We're with you with this, right? And that was like a year ago, some time ago, all right? And then they said, okay, fine, let me keep on doing the program. In the momentum, in the name of Thomas Sankara, we're going to keep on. I'll stay with you for a little while. He reminds me of somebody, actually. Get this. Okay, now, this is fun. In fact, Lace would know this. Because Lace was in the arts department at WBAI, ran a program on crosstown traffic. When I became arts director, unbeknownst to people, I actually didn't want to be arts director. I had something else going. But I put my name in because we had such bad arts directors before them. Then I just wanted somebody, if you're going to be arts director at WBI, you got to beat me on paper. And I wasn't paying no attention to what's going on. In fact, I was deep. And when the stuff was going on, I was interviewed, whatever I was interviewed at. I was in a big rehearsal for that thing that I told you about yesterday, which was The Outsider, played by Richard Wright, the big, thick script, right, that I produced, directed, adapted, and did 8.5 hours or whatever, however long it was, audio drama, no commercial, but I was deep in that. I wasn't even thinking. And then they sort of like said, oh, I did the interview and whatever have you. like that. I totally, it was like, it wasn't in the forefront of my mind, let's put it that way. And then they said, well, after, it was long, for some months, they said, you're arts director. I'm going like, problem. I mean, I had no more radio going, I was doing my audio dramas. I didn't want to be an arts director. So I said to them, because I like to say this way, I said, look, I'm only going to do this job for 3 years, you know, because this is an administrative job. If I got asked for it, I said, look, I don't have any administrative chops for something like this. Should I take a course and you put me through a course or something like that? Of course, that never happened. But luckily for me, I'm a theater person. Been in theater since I was 17 years old. So I was trained as a stage manager, you know, by the great Emily Cambridge and Tito Sean, a bunch of other people. And so I basically treated the arts department like it was a theater, like BA, like it was a theater production. And the arts department, I just use, okay, then here's what we need, and put people in place, and and did all that stuff. And that's how I ran the department, like I was a stage manager, you know, I wasn't even thinking. I ran the arts department like I was a stage manager. It's even better because if I ran like a director, then I would be in charge. I ran like a stage manager. Other people's in charge. I'm just trying to get them do stuff that they could do. Okay, well, Commander Ibrahim, I think he's the same way. He's going like, hey, look, I'm a soldier, man. Yo, I'm not no pilot. I can't be done. Nah, right? I'm only going to do this for a certain amount of time. So he tried to get out last year, and they going like, no. Well, same thing happened to me. When I tried, after 3 years was up, I was trying to get, okay, it's time for me to go. And then Samori, the program director at the time, he sort of like, come on, Anthony. So I stayed. I said, look, I'll do one more year. So I did 4 years. Basically, I've been arts director from 1991 to 1996. How many is that, 5 years? However long I did. I think it was 5 years. Anyway, but then when the time was up, I said, okay, the department's going well. I healed the station. Everything's going hunky-dory. Did what I got to do. Got to go. Why I got to go? No. I said, because I'm not an administrator. I like to say it this way. I'm an artiste. I'm an audio dramatist. I am meetings on having people yell at you for that, having to be having to be politician compromise. That ain't me. As an audio dramatist, I run things a little differently too. As an audio dramatist, which is different when I'm a director, I run different things as a director. Director's like a tyrant. Well, what can I say? But an audio dramatist, the way I do it, I just put things in place and help them do what they need to do. Hey, it's a wonderful thing. No, less stress. Let's put it that way. Anyway, back to Commander Ibrahim. So then what happens? So people start to catch on and say what he's doing. Say, hey, that's our leader. So they now a lot of countries in Africa now they're saying, hey, this guy, this is the real deal. This is the guy we need to listen to what he's saying. At least check out his suggestions. Now look what's happened. Even Burkina Faso's made an electric vehicle along with Zimbabwe. They have an electric vehicle thing to have a factory. You have Mali, who's making their own weapons. All kinds of things happen in Africa, right? I predict. Now I'm not going to predict anything, but things are happening, right? Things are happening because of one man, a military man. And here's the interesting thing. When these politicians, even if they're like in the bush, right, or be military, when they become politicians, they put on the wig of the suit of the colonizer. Some of them put on the wigs too. And they all of a sudden they go into these chambers and these bodies and they wax poetic about we went out democracy and I was duly elected for a lifetime. I was all kinds of stuff like that. Well, of course, Commander Ibrahim sees all that trappings. As a soldier, hey, you got to go through my troops to get to me. You got to go, like that. But what's happening is in Africa, I think the people are saying, hey, you're our commander-in-chief. They got to go through us to get to you. So they're coalescing like that. So anyway, so he announced that, look, I'm stepping down. No, I'm not. This is not going to happen, right? Even now, every year, Burkina Faso has a film festival. I think it's going to happen next week. And for years, I've known about the film festival for a long time. And now and they usually have like maybe about 30 countries involved. Now they come to like 48. There's a lot of countries involved, like that, because everybody wants to, check out what's going on, right? And you got, oh man, it's a wonderful thing. It's magnificent, right? So I don't. So here's what I'm saying. If you're wherever you are in the diaspora, let's put it that way. Now is the time to ignore your. I'm not saying no. There are people in your sphere, right, that will take care of the politics, the local politics. Some of us have to pay attention to what's happening in Africa, because if Africa gives us Africa as a body, as a country, as a body, let's say through the African Union or whatever it is, if they grant a visa-free, a cost-free visa, that even people in the diaspora, the people that have money, they can start traveling and invest in Africa, any nation in Africa, and can move around like that. That you do it on that level, right? You understand where I'm going with this, right? So all the academics who are going to say this and that, whatever, let them poo-poo what they're going to say. But some of us, we need to, take a lot. They say, was it Hitler, somebody, Goebbels or Goering, or one of those people, it only takes, they said it only takes 10% to start a movement. I got news for you. It takes less than 10% to start a movement. Because most human beings are herd animals. They jump on the bandwagon. I can tell you, again, this late station, my department, the arts department, when I was in the arts department, a bunch of people wanted to be in the arts department, but I had my standards, Anyway, because it was the thing, it was the bee's knees, right? So the point is this. I said, oh man, this is interesting. He wants to step down. And at first, immediately I said, oh no, don't step down. But then I said, wait a second. He's my commander in chief. Whatever he says, he has a good reason for it. He may not say it right now, but with your commander in chief, you don't be questioning your commander in chief. The orders come down, you get and do it. You don't say, oh well, I think that. But no. So here's what I think. Okay, it's straight off the presses. Here's what I think. I think that first of all, he wants to step down because he says, okay, things are going the way it needs to go. That's what the bandwagon is going. So people, they know what to do. They can take care of themselves. They got all everything is in place, right? I can just rah from the side. I can do something else. Whereas this thing is going, and the people, it's actually the people is taking over. So whoever's going to take his place over as a head of state, whatever it is, they can't be like no Blaise Compaoré. They can't be betraying the momentum that we got. Now they can't do that, right? So here's what I'm hoping. Now I'm not saying this is what he's doing. Because remember, you got the African Union, which is the big problem. I say that my commander-in-chief, Commander Ibrahim, he can have another position, even as a military, but a head up, say that, because remember, the African Union, who's going to be the thing, they still need a fighting force. They need the military might, just like the U.S., to back up what they say. So if he can get all the countries to start doing what they're supposed to do, but then take the African Union and be the military commander, which you can set the agenda how long that's going to be, military commander of the African Union, and then command all those troops. Command all. When I say not only just the military might, but also what he's doing with the mental might. Like I said, I'm an American, yes, but my mentality is African in a whole lot of senses of the word. So if he can take Africa and give Africa the African mentality. So for instance, say you're Kenyan, right? You come from Kenya. So you're a Kenyan African, just like I'm an American African. You see? Say, look, Senegal just mentioned Senegal. Say you're Senegalese, then you're a Senegalese African, because that's where you have that passport, but you have that African that are all free visa for all of Africa. You can do the same thing for anything. Say you're Indonesian, right? You could be an Indonesian African. Or maybe I shouldn't stretch like that. But the BRICS is taking care of that. What I'm trying to say is that whatever the commander says, you don't be questioning it. You do what he says, because he's got a plan. He's always had a plan. His plan so far has been working. He ain't stumbled yet. He ain't going to stumble. He knows what he's doing. He's protecting himself. He's protecting his friend. He's protecting the ideology. He's protecting the I don't don't want to say, I don't know. He's protecting what we need, which is ultimate liberation. He's protecting this move toward ultimate liberation. So I'm doing what he said. And the beautiful thing is, I don't have to follow behind my commander-in-chief of the U.S. I don't have to follow behind him. I can name my own commander-in-chief, which means I don't have to react to anything he's doing. Because all you do is reacting to him. So everybody is all in a twist over, twisting. They have their drawers. I like drawers because it can apply to men and women. Drawers in a twist because the dollar's doing this and the dollar's doing that, and you're not even reading it. And you don't see that, hey, this is just everything. Let me stop there. I'm going to go. I've been going too long. So anyway, kudos, salute to Commander Ibrahim. You're doing what you do. I got your back. Now I'm talking Black America. You got your black. Hey, you got your black. Oh, hey, Commander Ibrahim, we got your black.